So speak about your role in the film.
So I play Rachel Crooks, who is a woman who spoke out against Donald Trump. She is a politician in Ohio, and I found out that I was cast as her, and I started watching some YouTube videos about her and her experience and her interviews that she had done when her story was breaking. And so she comes forward against harassment from Donald Trump, and helps kind of move forward the research for Megan and Jodi in their article that breaks kind of the Me Too movement. So, yeah.
What was it like to work on such an important film?
Very exciting, and also the weight of it. It was not lost on me, and I think on set everyone did a very good job of kind of. It was just a very calm, friendly, grounded set, so that kind of helped it feel more approachable of the subject, since it was pretty heavy subject matter. But I think I'm excited to see it, because I'm hoping that because it was grounded, it felt grounded when we were filming it. It'll help it just really send the message, and it'll really click with viewers so that it feels very real, because it is real. So, yeah.
Can you speak a little bit about your career in acting and how you got your start?
Sure. So I started taking classes when I was in high school. I went to the college for it. I went to Sarah Lawrence. And then I studied for a year in England at a year abroad program. And then I just started doing it professionally since I graduated. So it's been about 7 or 8 years now, and this is a second big thing that I've done. So I'm pretty excited, not only to be doing something that's so meaningful, but then also to have it be the second big thing for my career. So I'm super stoked.
Can you speak about your role in the film?
Sure. Hi, I'm Ashley Chiu, and I play young Rowena.
Speak about your research and preparation. I'm sure there's a lot of news articles and the book and all of that.
I had a pretty quick audition process, but I Googled Rowena Chiu, and there was no shortage of articles she had written sharing her experience, a few interviews she had done, and she writes extremely eloquently about what happened and about the forces at play. She wrote a lot about gender, wealth, status within the workplace, and race being 4 different issues that were extremely prevalent and that she believes heavily contributed to her experience with Harvey Weinstein. So to read her words in the first person so succinctly and clearly gave me an incredible picture of what she had gone through, and I think really helped me to do my work in this film.
What was the most challenging part about being a part of it?
These are really dark moments that these victims went through, and to find that emotional depth was not fun. But at the end of the day, I consider it to be a great honor to be able to be a part of the story.
Why was it important for you to come to this screening tonight?
I felt very lucky to be included in this movie. It's rare that you are part of a project that you feel is so relevant and so deeply important. So being able to be here and acknowledge its importance with the rest of the people involved meant a lot to me.
Can you speak a little bit about your career and your history in entertainment?
I am a New York actor. I've been a New York actor for the last 25 years or something like that. I do theater, I do off-Broadway, I do Broadway. I've done film and television, mostly that films in New York. I'm also Iranian American. I've played multiple different types of people and people from different backgrounds. And this was one of those instances where the character just spoke to me immediately. And I feel very blessed to have been a part of this story.
And what was it like collaborating with the director?
She is absolutely wonderful. She called me ahead of she she was so receptive to my input. She had so many enlightening things to say herself. When we first shot the scene, and this is also rare, she shot it all the way through with cameras all the way around us, so that we got to play it out as a full scene and really live through the arc of the scene, which I felt was very, very important. So it was really just, I felt very lucky to be working with her.
Obviously, many people know this story. This is a global story that everyone's very familiar with. What do you think the film might show people that's a little different?
I love that this film focuses on the women that have experienced it and the women that are seeking the truth. So I think from that viewpoint, it is very different because people tend to be focused on the criminal and a lot of times on the trauma of the women. And I feel that this is a very powerful and empowering story.
And so what does it mean to you to be here tonight?
Well, I'm really happy that people now, after 5 years that the Me Too happened, they're still talking about this. It's very important that everybody should keep this conversation open. People should not forget. And I think that having this movie coming out today is going to remind people, and especially impact them more because it's something that is visual. Because hearing stories of women, of survivors in general, yes, it's something like hurtful, but seeing it and feeling it, it's something that really is gonna create a great impact.
Can you speak about why it was important to you to speak up? Because a lot of people were abused by him and they were afraid, but you found some bravery. Can you speak about that?
Well, my only thought that I had back in 2015 was, I need to stop this person. Like, I don't want anybody else to go through what I've been through. And I knew that he did that before, because when I got to the police station and the police person said basically again when I said his name, I really knew I had to do something. I could have not have this person just roaming around knowing he did something wrong. I'm the type of person that when I see something that is not right, I need to talk about it. I just can't stop it. So I really am happy that this thing is getting resolved and that it's going to stop many other situations to happen.
Can you speak about what you're working on? Like, what are you doing in your career these days?
I am modeling still. I really enjoy doing it, and I'm also working on a documentary and possibly a dramatized series about my full story, because a lot of people don't know the extent of everything I have done, let's say, to try and help others.
And so you said when Gwyneth Paltrow spoke out, something connected with you.
Yeah. It connected because I felt like it didn't happen to me because I was silly and naive and just easy to manipulate. But this person, it was in him, not in all of these women. You know, he was a bully, and he was a predator. He was just a very bad person, and that's why so many women were abused. And not only women like myself from another country, young and not knowing things, but also prominent actresses who achieved so much. And it was this was like a breakthrough moment, which really helped me a lot to open up. And at first I filed under Jane Doe because I didn't want my name to be out there. But then to be able to proceed with my case on my own, not in class action, I had to reveal my name, and it was a challenging, but all in all, I'm very glad I did that, because just sticking to your story and be able to say what happened and show other women that it's fine to talk about it. I guess that's a mission on its own.
Can you speak about being here today and what this moment means to you?
Oh, it's incredibly empowering and exciting. I'm a Weinstein survivor. I'm an advocate with my own organization called Hire Survivors Hollywood, and I'm an actress. And to get to play this incredibly powerful Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, Emily Steele, who helped bring down Bill O'Reilly, is just so exciting. And getting to work with Maria Schrader and Zoe Kazan and Patty Clarkson and Andre Brower, like, it's just a who's who of the best in the business. And I felt welcomed, and I felt like I was holding my own and like I belonged. And that's what I've been working for such a long time. And also, I know they included other survivors. It wasn't just me, and that almost felt better. The fact that I got to do it was thrilling, but the fact that other people were involved and consulted and got to be a part of this process is all I ever wanted.
Can you speak about why it's important to see this as a film? Because we've read the book possibly, we've seen the thousands of stories, but why is the medium of film so important?
There's a Tom Stoppard quote that says, if you put the right words in the right order, you can nudge the world a little. And I always felt that way about filmmaking and theater and that kind of storytelling, that it breaks down people's walls. It reaches their hearts and their minds in a way that maybe reading a news article or a book can't. It's so hard to deny the humanity of a story when you see it playing out in front of your eyes. And especially this film, it does not at all feel exploitative or like it's titillating or anything like that. It's just really honest about the process that the journalists had to go through and these women and the choice they had to make to come forward. And I think it's just beautifully done, and I hope it moves people.
Tell me, how did you get involved with the project?
Dee Gardner and Jeremy Kleiner, producers for Plan B, asked me to think about this story, and I did, and I said I'd love to try and write it. And I came to New York and I met the journalists, Jodi Kantor and Twohey, and that was where we started.
How much of it was the book versus everything else out in the world, the news stories, the other news articles, all that kind of stuff?
The majority is the book. Occasionally, other things came in, but really what you see in the film is from the book. Although sometimes I went a little bit sort of backstage in their lives, which they didn't write so much about in the book, just because I think it's important to see the personal sacrifices that people make in their work.
What was the most exciting part about working on this?
It was exciting to work with a fantastic team of journalists who were incredibly supportive, and it was inspiring to meet the survivors who were so strong and resilient and open with me. So basically, a fantastic team of filmmakers, and the producers I've been on a long journey with, and fantastic. Everyone is just impressive. And really a very strong female team with Maria Schrader and the actresses, Carey Mulligan, Zoe Kazan, very female, which is lovely.
What do you hope viewers take away from the film?
I hope they take away the fact that abuse of power is never acceptable, and that hopefully there is someone there to hear your story if you have suffered abuse, and that they're not alone if they have suffered.
Tell us about your role in the film.
I get to play Ron Lieber, Jodi Kantor's husband. Jodi Kantor, Zoe Kazan's role, and I get to, I think one of the most interesting things about this movie is it's a superhero movie, really, essentially. These two women are superheroes for what they were able to accomplish and what they did, and their bravery and their tenacity. And I think what's so fascinating about this movie with the women stars is that you've got to deal with the home life as well. You know what I mean? Women have to deal with both. You can't just have a movie where you just show what the woman does at work and then they're going home and they're changing diapers and they're putting food on the table and all that kind of stuff. And so it was fun for me to be able to play that side of Jodi's life and bring a little bit of humor and family life to the movie. It's just an honor to be a part of it.
And what do you hope audiences take away from the film?
I think audiences, I really hope that they take away just how important real, truthful journalism is, and I hope that they take away that we all need to use our voices to keep the truth out there, and to support the institutions that work so hard to make sure that we know the truth. And I think people are going to see this movie and realize just how essential that is. and how much of an impact it can make.
Tell us about your role in the film.
I am incredibly honored to have been allowed to attempt to portray Laura Madden, who was the first survivor to agree to go on the record for Jodi Kantor and Megan Twohey. And yes, it's an honor.
Did you get to meet her?
No, I have not met her.
And what was it like collaborating with the team, a strong female team?
Oh, anytime you get to work on something where people are so passionate and inspired and committed to telling a story, it's an honor and a privilege. When it's a group of extraordinary women, then it's the best.
Obviously, many people know this story, but why do you think it's important to see it in film form?
I think we could always do, and particularly right now, do with remembering that raising our collective voices and coming together and supporting each other can really change things.